What is popping, comp DBD enthusiasts of the OCE region? We're picking up where we left off last night. Day 2 of Season 6, Week 1 finals. So what do we have for you on the menu of La Casa del OSL? First up, it's Celestial vs Tensei at 4:30 p.m. Set 1, Nurse on Cold Tower 1. Set 2, Oni on Cold Tower 1 with a tiebreaker of Demogorgon on the Cold Tower 1. That's a lot of Cold Tower 1. Secondly, it's Scarlet vs Scouts at 6 p.m. Set 1, Ghoul on Suffocation Pit 1. Set 2, Unknown on Ormond Lake Mine and a tiebreaker of Demogorgon on the Cold Tower 1. And lastly, it's Luong vs Renewal at 7:30. Set 1, a Mastermind on Cold Tower 1. Set 2, Unknown on Ormond Lake Mine and a tiebreaker of Oni on the Cold Tower 1. Casting first to loser bracket elimination series is Like We Never Left, myself and Gohan. Gohan, who do we think takes it, Celestial or Tensei?
Well, both of these teams have a good track record of their matches, so it's going to be quite hard to say. But as we mentioned before, this is going to be a ping matchup as well. So, and the two killers that they have selected can be quite brutal for ping because we got Nurse and then we have Oni and Demo. So all of those ping matches are going to be quite brutal, and Nurse is not a fun one to verse on the ping, but both killers are going to be running Bad Man's Last Breath and Fragile Wii, so Blink Attack is going to grant Undetectable once every 45 seconds, and then Fragile Wii is obviously going to be Inflict Mangled for 70. But our first chase is going to be onto Orlando, and Orlando is going to be going down all the way down at 5. So Enlightened, our Deli player, is going to have to make his way down to the map to make sure he can get that Deli on and active, as having Deli against this killer is going to be very much important, Hunter.
Yeah, I just want to quickly elaborate on the fact that you mentioned ping on a set like this. Nurse is actually pretty popular amongst ping sets. You don't have to worry too much about getting wacky hits because she has a wacky hitbox anyway. When you think about it, you just got to prioritize those death locations, those positioning spots as well, which we see Enlightened in a fairly favorable position for the Deli Survivor. The only time ping will really hurt you is if you're trying to get just a dead hard off or something of the sort, so something that requires absolute impeccable timing and potentially even like a life off of a window realistically. However, our survivors all in fairly favorable positions at the moment, playing it pretty good for what it is worth. I know our killer is in a dominant position, having a hook smack bang in the middle of everything, but he eventually has to leave the generator over at 1 as he knows that pull is happening just underneath his nose at the back of his head, and he's straight back to the hook and has spotted out 2 survivors, 1 off the hook, 1 healthy. We do manage to find our tunnel out again, so we have to make quick work of it. This will be Deli up as well, might I add. So, you know, we've made enough distance and bought ourselves enough time. Oh, please tell me that was enough time for Deli. I don't want to be jinxing it because we got that down. Yeah, I was about to say it would have been pretty close, maybe about 2 seconds off. However, it is going to be Orlando slapped on another hook, just hauling us down to the bottom half of the map, where we do have 2 generators on the opposite side ready to be flipped once we come off the hook again once more. I don't really think we have anything to be aiding us once we are the tunnel out off the hook. We have the likes of Sprint Burst, but it is our Deja Survivor on the hook there. So, you know, we're sacrificing a little bit of that gen regression happening, so just being on the hook and not being able to use our perk. All in the meantime, you see Miracle just try to make that rotation back to the pool, but ultimately forced on the back foot here. Now, ideally, you'd probably want the Sprint Burst gamer here next to getting the pool here, but it is Sprint Burst. I was about to say it is Sprint Burst on the hook. That's what I was saying before. It's not ideal. However, we've seen an opening and we were going for it, but caught a little bit. And this is a lot of time wasted here from Mercy, not being on a gen, forced off of the pool, not going for the trade. We don't really want to be letting Orlando die in a position like this because there's 3 generators remaining with Bug Raw progress on the map. We do see our Claudette coming in hot. That is Miracle. So he's the one going for that trade. Is the Unbreakable Survivor as well. So it is ideal, regardless of the fact that we are going to be going down. Oh, that's going to be a slap onto the wrong Survivor. And we're trying to take the hit for them to take his distance all the way down to the top section of the map. Miracle on the floor, recovering about 25% of the way. He has that extra little bit given to him as he is the Unbreakable Survivor. All in the meantime, the other survivors can just slam out pistons, and now Ray is caught in a position where does he commence to tunnel out again, or does he go and try to intercept those generators happening over towards that main building? He's opted to go for his tunnel out, so it looks likely that he might be losing that generator over at main. And oh, look at all the distance Orlando has bought himself here. Can he work around the pallet? He can't. That was a nasty swing around the half wall. We are playing for the pallet save, but little do we know we're going for a reset and playing patiently. We do get main done as a result of that chase. So 4K2, you're tunneling out Gorn in the match here, Gohan. Not too bad for the serves, but the Killix can still pull it back to the 4K1 if they play their cards right and are careful.
Indeed, they can. And if you also notice as well, Miracle actually is saving his Unbreakable for a more favorable position and time, considering that Mersing did rotate for that pickup as well and got the full reset. So 3 survivors on the board, all of them are going to be healthy, and then Enlightened is going to be working on this top main or top mid gen. Miracle has been found here at 7 as well, so quite unfortunate for Miracle, but the killer is going to have to try and at least get that blink attack first to start the chase. But Miracle is actually just going to be using this edge filler and edge map tiles to the maximum capabilities of that he can do, and he's actually done a lovely job as that, and going to be using his life here as well, so he's going to be able to chase around this shack for a little bit longer. And Miracle is actually going to be hiding around the rock as well, trying to make sure that the killer doesn't find him, but unfortunately the scratch marks have dobbed him out, so he's going to be chasing around the famous Z-wall, going to be getting tagged as well, so Miracle's going to have to try and chase and keep chase at this bot side, as we do know that the top mid-gen is going to be worked on thanks to Enlightened, and Mercy is most likely going to be on that generator at 8, which it does seem to be the case. And yeah, Miracle's just going to have to keep chase as far bot as he can, and the only position he's got is this very edge filler, or this edge map tile on 8 and 7, and he's not going to be getting that, and Eruption is going to proc onto that top mid-gen. Mercy is going to already be pre-stealthing for that Pull Hunter.
Good preemptive stealth here over at bottom half. I wonder if Ray's clicked onto that after the Crows have dropped down in a location that he wasn't really too close to. Granted, he was chasing around the corner 7, but look, he is sniffing it out. He knows somebody's nearby. It would be ideal in a scenario like this for the Serfs to actually go for this pull, and we've spotted out Mercy, and he's thought like I have. He's going to be taking that tag, and honestly, doesn't even have to really commit to the chase. Can potentially go down to that generator over at mid 3. All in the meantime, Enlighten's left it entirely and is going for that pull. Hopefully we can bait out just a long blink. No, we've caught line of sight of him because we played really patiently amongst the hook. Ultimately, just on the defensive there, our killer. We have been jiggied though, so we're able to get this pull just in front of our killer's face without a damn worry in the world. But this will be the hit and the plot twist on the ground to force the deli, maybe. I don't know if that was the play, but you know what? It could have well and truly been. But don't go for that pull. He's deli. Let's go for the gen pressure. Surely he hesitated for a moment, forgot the bro was deli. Ray, straight back over to that generator over at 3, scaring our survivor Mercy off of anything they can be working as far as progression goes. Miracle caught at a loss. Does have the option to work 8, but where do you go from there on out? You're injured. If you're caught in a really bad location like that, you're just kind of done dusted. You do have to go for the reset at some point, and Enlightened really trying to play aggressive for 8, knowing that Miracle, Mercy, still both injured, not resetting. Are they going to meet up over at main? Potentially. I don't know, there's again a lot of hesitation spelt here from the survivors. Our killer able to pressure point all different kinds of sections of the map. He's just sitting in the middle there. He has the likes of going back to the generator over at 8 that is being worked, or potentially the one deeper, and then pressuring the reset all in the meantime. This is just textbook Nurse on Call Tower 1. It makes situations like this very, very hard to deal with, and unfortunately, it was always going to result in a down in some kind of capacity. That's going to be Mercy on the floor after we're chasing here over at bottom main, or top main rather, sorry, behind main building. Miracle now being caught out here over at 5 and is trying to haul us down to corner 5 to go down. And we're just closing in that distance. A couple of blinks here might spell the ultimate demise of Miracle, but he's done really well to bait out that second blink there, and does have life to aid him down to the shack. Does have to play the 50-50 mind game around the line of sight breakage, and does so effectively. Around the tiles on the backside of 5, he's just going to be going down. It's going to allow Enlightened to get the pick up onto Mercy, but again, it's that rinse-repeat scenario where they really need to be healthy at a point in time like this, but Ray's just not giving up that option to reset easily. He's always on their tail straight off of getting those hooks, those downs, and being able to upkeep the pressure in a game like this, especially with the cluster over at the bottom side, is just absolutely crazy good work as far as map awareness goes when talking about our killer. We do manage to get Mercy healthy here though, Enlightened, just stealthing off in the corner. Probably is going to be using his med kit as he is no longer broken from that deli pool. We do have the crows here, probably potentially dobbing him out. He is in a pretty good location though. He's not here over at 12. And if we check one, that's just going to allow for a free reset of the med kit. Granted, we actually don't go back to the likes of 10. Ray still doesn't see anybody here because we know as the spectators there is nobody here. And that's a 75% of the way done. Heal coming in from Enlightened. Miracle off the hook now. Mercy healthy. If we can just maybe last a little bit to manage both survivors on generators all in the meantime while Miracle chases here over at 5, this could potentially at least bring it back to the 4K1 that we're alluding to a little bit earlier on in the trial here, Go Home. But with Miracle going down so early, you can't really blame him. He's got nothing. He's got Unbreakable and Decisive Strike though, so he could potentially last. But we've been caught in a lose-lose scenario. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, having that survivor on the floor after coming off of the hook. So we are just going to be trying to pressure points on all sections of the map here, forcing our survivors back to top and back to bottom wherever they can. That's a wacky looking hit. And honestly, that passage of play has brought us enough to get 30% done on that generator over at 3, but we've been caught here and the comm needs to come in. Enlightened doesn't really have anywhere to go. Really trying to just break away and hope for the best here. Miracle off the floor with Unbreakable. Mercy in the trial here behind main. Enlightened forced off his generator over at 1. Again, he's done very well to counterplay every single counterplay that the survivors have to their disposal here, Gohan.
Indeed, yeah, it's very difficult, especially on the side of the survivors, because Nurse can just 2-blink wherever they really want, and unfortunately not going to be able to blink through that object as well, as it isn't just that not charge it up enough to get through. But now Enlightened is going to go down to the very corner edge of 12, might even use his... No, he doesn't use his plot twist, maybe. Okay, so he doesn't going to use plot twist, so he isn't going to be able to pick up that easily. But Mercy is on this edge 9 as well, so if the Nurse blinks anywhere near that area, they are going to spot out Mercy, so that is going to be quite brutal for them as well. And as we saw as well, Miracle no longer has his Unbreakable because he had used it before and to get onto this generator here at 6, so they're not going to have that option. And we just did see the bird fly down as well, so Ray is going to know that someone is nearby, but now they just have to try and figure out where did Miracle go. And he is actually here at the 5 tile here, just hiding behind the rock, trying to make sure that he doesn't get found here at 4 instead. But we did see the pickup onto Enlightened in the background, so they are going to be getting that reset for free. And Ray, suspecting someone has actually stealthed into basement, so he's going to be blinking into basement, trying to figure out where someone is, trying to hear out if someone was in those lockers. But no, as the spectators, we do know that Miracle is at 4, and we do see the reset happen as well. But we don't see the double reset happen, so Mercy isn't actually going to be healed as well. Most likely trying to protect some kind of perk. I'm assuming maybe Resilience. Possibly. No Resilience either, so not even really protecting a perk slot for not doing that heal. And we do see Miracle there, and Ray is going to be able to spot that out, but unfortunately Miracle also knew as well, but now he's going to get downed as well. No Unbreakable on the board, so that's going to be Miracle dead as well at 2 gens remaining. So that is our Wretched Fate player out of the game as well. But now it's a 2v1 against a Nurse, and this situation is looking very grim because there isn't much gen progress now, as we did see that both gens were just regressing for most of this time, as it was pretty much just a tug and pull of the match, considering we had chase, stealth, and it wasn't much time to do gens. So unfortunately for the survivors, there's not going to be much gen progress on the board, Hunter. But in saying that, we have 2 healthy survivors though.
You do. It's the Nurse though, and chases are pretty short, pretty quick on the cold tower one when versing this killer. Versing this killer in any regard, realistically. I mean, they don't even need any information perks. The information is all here. They know nobody's on a generator. They don't see anybody crossing. They can kind of just hold this position in the middle of the map where they can see the crossover from top. All in the meantime, actually, Mercy has just faded away and gone all the way deep into 6. They're going to try and pressure the furthest points of the map, 1 being 3, 1 being over in deep pocket, 6 more so towards the 7 corner. That 7 corner generator though, once you get caught at it, you don't really have much to go on. You don't have any way to run. You're going to be eating that tag regardless. Whereas if you pressure 3 really aggressively, you do have the likes of either 1 or main to be running to. And if you are the life player, can be pretty good for you, but we are overcome though. I think our life player was Miracle, who died a little bit earlier on in the trial, just maybe a minute ago. So Enlightened straight off that generator. We've caught sight of him there too, and the prediction blink has been on point. We're going to be able to use that overcome, but Delhi isn't going to serve us any justice this time around as we have been hooked. So all we can really do is just bait out a good chase happening here over at top portion. But ultimately, yeah, just going to be taking the down. To no credit from our killer, it's just going to be plot twist making our survivor be on the floor. So Ray's going to be taking that hook here over in the middle of the map, and Mercy doesn't really know what to do from here on out. It's just, it is pretty much GG at this point, as I hate to say it. You can't even really fight for the last generator. 4K2 is in the books. It is on the tarot cards. I don't really see any way around it. What could you do in this position if you really wanted them to pull back at least one generator? It would require a safe unhook and a pressure over at 3. You don't get 7 done. It has to be 3. And I just, well, as I say that, you know what? We're just going to be taking that tag onto Mercy, who's been caught stealthing here over at 5. And it's going to be the down over in more towards 2 after trying to take that distance. The disconnect coming in from Mercy. And I hate to say it, you need to ask for referee permission. That's okay, and we are back with Celestial vs Tensei, the second half of the nurse set, which is set 1. So still looking for who is going to take this one away. 4K3 is the result that we are looking for if you are on the side of Tensei, and if you're on the side of Celestial, I do believe 4K1 is the result we're looking for. So there's no tie condition. Now, the reason there's no tie condition is there was a premature DC. And unfortunately, that just does incur a minus 0.5 penalty. It always has done and always will from this point forward. It doesn't matter what stage of the game it's in. The only time you are not going to be penalized in a scenario like that is if you just inquire about it and the referees give the A-OK, don't do it preemptively. And we know why this was done. The survivor beforehand was new to competitive, you know, Mercy being one of those serves that Tensei have picked up and are trying to teach the ropes. So mighty unfortunate, but you know, this is the nature of how rule sets do work. They have to remain consistent, and they do play a big part. However, going into more recent events here, it's going to be Alex G right off the rip in chase as he does evade that tag just by the skin of his teeth. He is going to be trying to utilize that edge map and just try to bait through the rocks in and out, bob and weave, and has actually made some very good pathing decisions that still are forever in search of that first tag, and he's just jiggied all the way down into the shack. Out to Killer doesn't want none of it, so Miracle going straight back to the middle of the map. So is the man for the job as far as killer win condition goes. When you look at Tensei, is their main killer player, probably the one with the most experience, I want to say. You do have the other boys who were more so on Shinto these past couple of seasons and just reforming, rebranding to Tensei. So, you know, Miracle obviously being in the competitive scene for 3 to 4 years now, has gotten his first tag and are down very quickly shortly after onto Ray, who was our killer last game. It's going to be them going down after the pallet there, so the pickup coming in from Miracle is going to be a nice edge map hook here over at 4, maybe potentially 3 further down top to intercept those generators being worked. And this will put him in a good position here because he can pressure, obviously, the likes of Main and 1, and then just go straight back to the hook for when he has the means to do so. All in the meantime, look at these serves. They're not really doing too much here. 2 off generators, pre-stealthing for that pull, and one of them just slamming out over at 10. Checking Main as well, but you're going to find that nobody is there. And this might even allow Miracle to pressure over at 10, knowing there's nothing happening in the background as far as unhooks go and nobody to be found over at Main. However, he doesn't want to venture too far away. I think he's just happy taking this second stage as he knows the pressure on the map at the moment. He knows what he's currently dealing with, what his position is looking like, so he can play ultra defensive. All in the meantime, the Serbs do have to make a move at some point, and you do see slow rotation coming in from Zalapi over in the corner 1, just trying to make to that hook for the right second to pull. It's going to be like the last microsecond, ideally. All in the meantime, Alex G and Cahill will be just slamming out pistons over on opposite ends of the hook, and Miracle really needs to solidify this second stage, as we've spent a little bit of time putting, oh, this is a body blockable hook, and it's a horrible one at that. And we've relinquished it. Oh no, and that's gonna spell trouble for him, because there's gonna be 2 gens potentially popping in his face. It's at the very least gonna be 1, as we do get that tag onto Ray. Ray's hauling us down to the bottom once again, and has actually baited out the serpent tile here, traversing back into the likes of 4, does greet the pallet, goes for a dead hard. And that was an ugly looking dead hard, because it's a whiff, and we didn't even hit the survivor for the speed boost. Was it calculated? Probably not. Wait, how we missed that blink? No. What's happening? It's all crumbling apart. How was he made this far into 7? And now we're intercepting this generator over at 7 as well. We're not able to get that down just before it pops in front of our face, but that's going to be a slug onto Cahill, and we know where the Claudette went. They couldn't have gone far. They were just kind of headbutting the corner over in 7, now closing in the distance with those blinks. A nice bait out of Jiggy, and we are swinging again once into nothing. The pallet stays up. We go through the shack. We force the locker as well. What's happened here? We're waiting out decisive strike, I guess, but I think in the end we know that we have just had enough time to kind of wait for the decisive strike to pan out, if it ever was in the back pocket of this Claudette. And as they come out of the locker, they are slapped back in the middle of the map here. But 2 gens have popped Gohan. For 2 stages, the match is pretty even. However, Miracle needs the 4K from this position onwards.
Yeah, indeed he does. And if the survivors get at least 1 generator popped, then that is obviously the game towards Celestial for the first set. But we haven't found the only survivor that was working on a generator hunter, so it makes it a little bit more likely for Miracle to take this back. But currently now, Alex G has been relinquished and not going to be chased fully, so he is going to be able to get that free heal. And we also see Cahill is also doing a self medkit heal as well. Miracle is actually very close to be able to spotting him, but isn't going to chase him just yet. Now he's going to opt to go for him after this 4-wall tile, going to be going down towards 7 here to avoid the chase, but again relinquishing the chase, and is going to be going back for the unhook. So now we are going to be seeing the chase onto Zlappy here. So Zlappy is going to be taking the killer up towards the top side of the map. He is our Deli player, and we do see the vault into the killer, and not going to be able to get the tag as he wasn't able to hold his blink long enough to be able to go through the pallet. So Zlappy, thinking that the killer was going to be able to blink through him, wasn't going to go for it, but now just trying to hold W and try and not get tagged here, but unfortunately is going to be going down. Miracle is going to go to get that pickup, and as we see before, he has got Deli, so we are going to have to try and figure out if we can either bait it out or try and find Ray, as there are our tunnel out, because losing our tunnel out now would not be ideal, and he is being healed by inner healing. So now we are in a situation where we have to be able to get on a gen, but in doing so, we have to make sure we can get those tags very quickly, and the survivors just have to play this out immaculately. Their gen spread is looking very ideal for them, and we do see the deli happen right in front of Miracle as well. So that chase is going to be started very quickly, unless they decide to go try and find someone else that are on a generator. And we do find Cahill here at 4. We do have the chase onto Cahill as well. We are going to see the double blink as well. Miracle is going to double blink next to that tree, and unfortunately, it is just going to give Cahill the distance to run all the way down towards the bot side of the map. We are going to be trying to blink through the lockers, and we are going to get the tag here as well. And we're right next to the logs here as well, so we're going to be able to get another chase probably quite quickly. We do see Zlappy has decided to run down towards the edge of this 4-wall and just try and send it as far bot as they can. And we are going to be seeing the 2 blink onto Zlappy. Zlappy is going to be now hooked once again, and if we look on the board, the gen progress is looking very much in favor of Celestial. We got a gen that is around like 20-ish%, and we got 1 gen that is about just to be passing that 50% mark as well. So it is looking quite grim for Miracle, as he knows that if 1 gen pops, that is the game for him. He needs to get he needs to get that 4K, and considering that this gen is whirring, he knows that if someone is going to be here, they're going to be here quite close, because they need to make sure that they pop at least 1 generator to win Hunter.
Yeah, I think he's caught sight of them too, checking in the corner of one, really trying for that tree tech. Yeah, buddy, you're a little too big for the tree. However, we do have the likes of 3 different perks that can aid us here. You know, we have Pop Goes the Weasel, Eruption, and Turn Back the Clock. However, we've spent a little time chasing our survivor here when potentially we could just be going back and using that Turn Back the Clock value onto that generator over at 3. So that's going to be used in 3, 2, 1, looking at the gen, getting our hotkey in, and there it is. The regression happening after the initial 10% is going to allow our killer to go straight back to the likes of 1. Doesn't really give a damn about the person plot twisting over in the corner, but with no tunnel out, this is still going to be pretty hard for Miracle to hold. However, as I say that, we have caught Alex G in a very bad spot. However, he has dodged that initial hit, and he won't be going down in the middle of the generators here. He will be going down to something much more favorable for Celestial, and Miracle knows he can't spend too much time in that chase, has to go back to the generators at hand here over at 3 and 1 because they're really close to being done, and he has to take advantage of his eruption here. Needs to land this blink, and we baited it out successfully. Beautiful stuff done from Cahill. Cahill now going to be hauling us into the corner of 7. Wow, Miracle really needed that down, but it's not going to be happening just yet. Logs has been started now too, so there's even more progression on the map. Another kick onto 3 is going to have the eruption on that generated too, but it needs it down for it to take into effect. The only person that's susceptible to an M1 down here, or an M2 down rather, as far as the nurse blinks go, is Alex G or Cahill, and none of them are actually close to death. The only 2 death hook survivors here are the ones that are healthy, and that'll be problems because 4 survivors left in the trial to break up 3 generators remaining is always going to be so easy. You know, 5 gens on the map, and you can pressure points from 4 different sections. You don't have to bundle up. You can potentially even go for a double 1-1 split if nobody's in chase. And all of a sudden, Miracle finds himself in a world full of hurt, and we're really grasping at straws here, thinking that it can hold on to this win condition with the situation he's been given at hand. You know, that double on the generator is just slamming out now. Ray's even in a safe location over at main to take a next chase here. Even though Miracle will find them, it doesn't really matter too much, and that's a nice looking bait of the second blink there. But unfortunately, as we've standstill mind gamed, we have been caught. Then that's going to be the tail end of the M1. Then 2 generators as well. Another failed dead hard coming in from Ray. Getting really overzealous from this. I think that one was calculated. Miracle knowing well and true that this survivor is the dead hard survivor at hand. Oh, I was thinking he was going to vault the Z-Wall there. That would have been crazy if that happened. I have yet to see that in a competitive scenario. It's not likely that you would anything would ever come out of that. That would be egregiously stupid, but there could be value to it. Let man dream. However, we are going to be taking that hook onto Ray, and this is going to be the double out over at 1. Not enough progression to really be worrying about for our killer at the moment, but that is our tunnel out, 1 generator remaining. It still grounds for a good result. Potentially high stages with given how much pressure is currently on the map. You do have the likes of 1 main and I believe 3 at this time. Oh no, it's a tight cluster. I don't think you break it, Gohan.
Yeah, that's gonna be very difficult to do. And I believe our balanced landing survivor is also dead, because I believe that was Ray that had a balanced landing. Yeah, so we don't even have someone to really that can safely work main as well, because then they can't really use. You don't really have anyone that can just balance landing off of main and be able to get that distance. And so we only really have the likes of Overcome and Sprint Burst as well. So that those 2 people can probably work on that generator there at the corner 1. And then we have Cahill on Lithe is going to be on this 2, on this 4 wall. So we have survivors that are in the right position for their perks, but this 3 gen is very close, and we just see here like Miracle is just able just to stand there, and he's able to just try and get as much as he can. But unfortunately, the failed blink gets Cahill to walk right into the loving embrace of the nurse killer as well, suspecting that they were going to blink a bit more further ahead. And we do have Alex G is in chase straight after as well, which is not ideal. We do have the reset happening as well in the background. Slappy is going to be healing up Cahill up ASAP, but now this situation is kind of grim because as Alex G does go down here, especially in the 3-gen situation, it is going to be very difficult for them to bring this back. So we might be looking at maybe even a 4K1 if they're not able to bring this back from this situation. And right now, Alex G is in the grimmest spot possible, especially considering it is directly into his 3-gen. But we do have Slappy is here ready to go. We do have Cahill is back on that generator at 2. So we might be able to see a quick pull as soon as we see that the killer is going to blink towards Cahill. We're going to be probably seeing Slappy race in. But unfortunately, Slappy is going to be getting caught out here. So now Cahill is not going to be getting that comm that unfortunately that the killer was going to be coming towards him. So Slappy is going to be able to get that fast pull. But now Miracle with 2 blinks available is going to try and go for it. But unfortunately going to be missing the 1 blink to get it. So now we have Slappy is going to be in chase here. Having to go as far bot as possible. And most likely trying to probably get a full reset at the bot side. But no, Alex G has ran straight back into the killer hunter.
Yes, he has, and Miracle going to be capitalizing on that now. Straight over to the corner of one. Injured you are, injured everybody is, and that's just going to be the down onto Alex G. Now, this is pretty much what's going to happen from here on out. You're not really going to get much done from this point forward. Everybody, no one on a full health state. The Gen over at main, Gen over at 1 and 3 is very holdable for the Nurse. You don't have to traverse through the likes of main. It's not like Oni where it could potentially be troublesome out of power. You know, the wholesome M1 Chungus killer with no power. It's the Nurse. She can blink through those walls. She can blink from point A to point B in the span of a couple seconds, if not a second. And yeah, it's going to be extremely hard for these boys to work around, really. I mean, what do they do? Either just, do we go for the save or do we go for the gens? And I think ultimately, yeah, they're just going to be going for the save. It's going to be that unhook trade happening on Alex G really trying to bait out a hit, but we're waiting out his timer. He will just go on the floor and then we'll just go to the generator over at 3 because that's going to be the furthest point of what is safe to do. A short swing through the pallet is not going to do us any justice, really trying to take advantage of that ping. However, the M1 mind games of the wholesome Chungus 3.8 killer is going, I don't think it's 3.8, excuse my math because I don't really know what speed the Nurse is as far as DBD knowledge goes. However, I know she's slower than the serves when not in that blinking state, and we do managed to catch out here Cahill for the final chase of the game after he was just really trying to slam out Pistons over at 3. So this will be 4K1 to 4K2. It's been pretty close. If I'd say 4K2 very loosely, it's like, you know, 4K2 and a half because of the point deduction coming in from I'm drawing a blank. Tensei. Oh my. Ooh, okay. So yeah, that is the game done and dusted, and if these guys do contact referee, they may disconnect for no penalty. However, I feel like they're just going to play it safe. It's going to be Cahill on the hook. No deliverance of any sort of funny business happening on here, but I do have a few points to kind of touch up on as far as the entire match goes as we do close out and go into that intermission when we're setting up the next set for you guys. The failed secure second really hurt Monk, second stage. The second stage really did hurt him. He needed it. Look, to put it in hindsight for everybody, if that was successful, where you just bought yourself an extra like 3 seconds to block the hook, or 4 seconds, however long it was going to take to get to that second stage, that survivor was on death hook. And if they were pulled off of that hook.
Hello everyone, welcome back to OSL. We have Celestial and Tensei. We are on the Oni set now. Back onto the cold tower. We're going to be seeing Miracle is going to be on the Oni, and both killers are going to be running a Keto Crotch and Slinted Hull. So we got the movement speed during dash by 13%, and obviously the blood orbs being dropped, increased by 33. And obviously we're going to have dropped additional blood when vaulting, pallet throwing, exiting lockers, crouching as well apparently, and failing a skill check. So there's going to be a lot of blood on the map, especially if we can get those tags very early and quickly. But right now, the killer is only just a wholesome Chungus M1 killer. So we're going to have to try and rely on that M1 gameplay for this beginning. And Miracle is going to be going all the way around the outside of the map, going down towards 11 and then making his way down towards 9. Trying to spot out if a survivor has decided to go on edge map, as we do know that some survivors will like to go to the edge map to try and get back towards the top side, and Ray is that survivor that is going to try to go towards that 9 side to get up towards the map. And now it is going to be a chase down into Shack as well. So Shack pallet is not going to be dropped just yet, as we have diverted and gone down towards 4, where we do see Alex G here. Alex G going to get a stun as well, going to be getting away from the killer as well. Alex G is our our balanced landing player and our deja vu player. So this is not the most ideal situation for the survivors, as we do ideally want Alex G like maybe on that main generator as soon as possible. But now Alex G is going to have to try and play around this 2 tile and is going to be getting hit unfortunately through that tile as well. Alex G stopping a little bit in surprise that he got hit through that, but there is ping involved here, so unfortunately the M1 tag is going to come through, and if we take a look at the build, Miracle has opted to go for crowd control instead of going for that bamboozle. So very interesting choice as well, as we don't get the speed from vaulting, unfortunately, but we do have the chase instantly onto Zlappy, and Zlappy is not our balance landing player. He is our head-on player, so not going to be getting a lot of distance after dropping down. So we do see the break onto that wall as well, power in hand now, and Corrupt is about to end too, but now we see the distance. We see Cahill is running straight to Shaq, and we have that totem very much in the vision of everyone, so it's just a matter of time until someone is able to calm that out. So we got Shaq Ballot is going to be dropped, 7 instantly going to be dropped right after it. We got to see if Cahill can play around it, and he does so very well. Unfortunately, his perk, Bada Bada Boom, is not going to get any real value because crowd control is in effect, and he is not going to be able to jiggy around the full power there. So Miracle is going to be getting that pick up, and he's going to go instantly for a pain res here at the bot mid hook Hunter.
Yeah, it's a good start coming in from Miracle, but it's a little bit of blunders coming in from Celestial. That first hit was horrible over at 1 or 2, rather, sorry. You know, you had the likes of a Jungle Gym to be working with, and I think we played it a little too greedy with an ambitious fake at the window there. It was just kind of ugly looking. However, you know, crowd control for Bam. It's common these days, and it got its value over towards the Shack, in which resulted a down as well. So off comes the hook. Cahill straight back into the match. He has a Lappy taking chase now to a very short filler. Oh my god, how has he made that one on 120 MS? I don't want to know. However, going to be not making the second one, unfortunately. Ray's going to be popping his generator off in the distance there too, and we're just happy to take another tag and go straight back onto the case of the generators here over in middle. Miracle going to be closing in the ground here over at the middle of the map. And all in the meantime, really forever in search of that next set of power, where there's just so much blood happening on the map where, you know, because of the frequency drop rate, you're just going to have it in your fingertips very, very shortly. And with the power pop coming in over at 7, that's an ambitious looking flick, and we've evaded it entirely. Cahill now having only the Gorman filler and a dream. That's a nice mind game coming in, but we've taken the break at the pallet, and we've slow vaulted the window here. What's our man doing in the corner? Hello, Alex G. What the hell is the game plan there? However, we've gone down over the likes of 9. Alex G now able to work 7. Zalapi and Ray all off of generators. Only one done in the trial, and we're only just starting the next one up right now. So there's just not really enough pressure to be worried about, as Miracle does take the break to make main a little bit more accessible to him. He's just going to be trying to get all those blood orbs up and off the ground to get his power again once more. You do see crowd control there sitting over at Happy mid-5. And as I say that, Caster's curse, it is gone. It is out of the trial. So main lives to see another day. The window is unblocked now, alongside all of the other windows that were blocked as taken into effect via crowd control. Miracle is going to be taking the break of that pallet over at 5 and straight back to the hook here, to where he can just camp out that remaining stage onto Cahill. He's going to take a vantage point over at main potentially. He does take the break of the door here. He's going to traverse back to the up portion of the stairs, where there's that balanced landing survivor Ray ready for the drop off, and the chase commencing over at 10. We're going to be faking that window and playing the check spots very nicely. They're going for a little bit of a greed, but we've lost the 50, and that's going to spell another tag after 120 MS hit straight through it. And ultimately, we don't really have to chase this. We get enough power via the tag, and it's going to only mean that we need one more blood orb to get the Blood Fury up and running. Straight back into Oni power, and we're just camping out that remaining stage onto our Deathhook survivor. They are done and dusted. Cahill out of the trial. A force locker coming in from Ray. Hasn't really spent a lot of that Oni power, but we do have another generator popping for at least the 4K3. This is the kind of game that Miracle would have wanted last time around, where he could hold on to the 4K3. Definitely is much more doable, considering the fact that we have only 3 survivors left in the trial, regardless of there just being no real easy way to down our serves other than Oni power, which requires a lot of work. There is not really too much blood on the map right now in comparison to the beginning of the match, because everybody else who's not in chase, who's just slamming out these generators, has been healthy for the most part. We do manage to pop that generator, and I don't know where the bank is right now, and I think Miracle is in the same boat as me. He's really forever in search of it. If there even is one on the map, that is. We can't pull it back to at least the 4K2, and we're getting an unhook onto Ray off in the distance there, but he has to make a way down into a favorable location because Miracle will be hot on that tail. No, actually, he's a little bit scared of this generator here over at Shaq and is trying to really bait out our Nancy, Alex G, and has done so effectively. We do vault the window there, and it's probably going to be a little bit of a nightmare, granted that we don't have Bamboozle or Crowd Control to aid us in these chases anymore. However, a couple short fillers to our advantage. One's going to be going down over at 5, and the one over at 3 is going to be greeted entirely. See you later, bon voyage. He's made so much distance there. I thought he was going to be camping and playing the 50s, and I'm pretty sure so did Miracle. Power goes up, playing around the large L wall of the jungle gym. Do we win that one after vaulting, potentially vaulting the window? We do, because we didn't vault the window, rather. And oh my god, that is scary. The turn rate, the mechanical movement of Miracle will spell the down onto our nets, onto our Zarina Zalapi, who actually played this pretty well, all things considered. I can't really fault them in any regard. My god, even that caught me off a little bit, but that is going to be the pain resonance, slow the game down just a little bit more as well. Ray off of a generator, Alex G still trying to be forever in search of that Shack generator getting done. Got a little bit tongue twisted there, and Ray just camping out here over at the backside at 12, so game's going to be a little bit stagnant, but I think it's going to be slowly progressing a little bit more for the survivors, granted, if we stay here as the killer. But as I say that, we are moving ever so slowly to the Shack building, where potentially we can get another down here, Gohan.
Indeed, and we do vault into it, and we do see Alex G has decided to opt to go straight into the basement. Miracle thinking someone is going to be into these lockers and try and bait out. Oh, no. Uh-oh. This is... Date. We saw it. We saw the survivor. Oh no! Wait, we're using power. Okay, wait. This is. Whoa. That was interesting interaction with the ping there. We do see the tag, and then Alex G is going to be sitting pretty on a basement hook as well, and we get power back instantly, popping it as well. Very, very greedily, because I know you, Hunter, you always told me, make sure you see someone before you pop power, otherwise it's going to be spelling issues. And we do see that Zlappy was going to be in this locker, and the killer is going to be dashing past him twice, and he's not injured, so luckily that Miracle wasn't able to spot him out, and Zlappy is just going to be sitting chilling at the main as well. But now the situation is, does he go for the drop instantly? And he does, but unfortunately, Miracle has got a clear shot onto him, and he's gonna go down with that as well. Gonna be breaking the pallet straight after. Ray is going to be hauling ass, trying to get that on hook ASAP, as he has to try and get that to try and keep them in the game. And he's going to be able to get it Slappy on the floor behind main as well. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how they go about this. So now Miracle, hot on the trail, is going to be at the Shack window as soon as they get out of the Shack basement as well. So now it is a situation of how can they play around this. We do see blood drop thanks to Alex G going to be vaulting that window now. Now Ray is going to be in chase as well, but now Miracle is going to opt to go back for Alex G, trying to collect as much blood as he can, as now Alex G is going to be bleeding on the map. Probably trying to go for that, for the pull, but no, we're going to be dropping the pallet right in front of Miracle's face, trying to get that swing through the pallet as well, but not going to be able to make this window, unfortunately, as we do see Ray has rotated all the way to top side to try and get Slappy up. So now we are going to be able to get a pain res hook here, unless we're going to opt to go back down to basement. No, we're going to go for that pain res hook on this bot side as well. So pain res going to be used here. Last pain res used now. We're going to be breaking this. We have main being worked on, not much progress on the board. Ray is going to have to try and find a way to either unhook this or try and get on another Gen Hunter.
Yeah, it's again fallen into the favor of Miracle, even though we're starting that generator over at main from naught basically, and really trying to collect those blood orbs to get our power back up. And I think after Zalapi just working main, there's going to be a whole lot of blood in this vicinity. You do see just a few orbs here at the bottom. We're even just closing in the distance here to go for that kick, and look at how much has just been leaking on this gen. We don't even have balanced landing. The awareness is not there. We are going to be popping power just before Zalapi, and this could potentially be a very, very short and easy quick down. However, Miracle going to divert and try to go for that pulling serve. does get stuck on the rock just a little bit, but I think that was calculated as he wanted to spell a problem coming in from Alex G. Did so in the end anyway. That's going to be the down and another tunnel out happening for 2 survivors left in the trial. And there's still enough blood over at main to get your power back up and running again, especially with the power coming off of that hook. We are going to be straight back on that bank. Bang. And we're popping. So you said beforehand over at the shack that we're popping without seeing anybody. In this case, we're popping whilst we hear someone, so it's fine. I was very surprised that we were just camping out main as far as Zalapi went. That was very extra ambitious, and I didn't agree with it at all, because if we just sat pretty over somewhere else in the map, that could potentially have been a power wasted from Miracle. I would see a world where you do play aggressive on both the pull and the generator, because hypothetically, if the killer is just to stay around, just, you know, la-di-da around the pulling survivor and the unhooked survivor, you can potentially get that generator over at main done, because it is fairly safe. You know, it's the safest one at this point because it has the whole main building to be working with. Most of the resources have been thrown on the map. So even Shack is not as, you know, safe as it was once upon a time. And as I say that, we are going to be medium vaulting the window. This will result in the M1 tag. And, you know, Ray, obviously being the last survivor in the trial after a slugged Zalapi, is going to be taking the final chase over towards 8, where there's nothing but a dropped filler and a dream, and we're just forever looking for that power again once more, winning all kinds of 50s, but giving up all kinds of blood. And there goes the power. Can we get flicky with it over at the pallet? Ray going to be faking those vaults coming in as well, but this is going to be a very ambitious flick and a very good one if he gets it while blinded, but a well-timed firecracker is going to spell a little bit of confusion for our killer main, Mr. Miracle. Anticipating that our survivor had actually W'd away towards 6, we were running momentarily into a tree. However, that didn't matter because we went back to the pallet over at 7 and went down anyway. GG's to the 4K3. Not really the kind of scenario that you want in a set like this, you know, Oni being actually anticipated to take away, 8 stages, so... I don't know. It all stemmed from the basics, really. Getting tagged way too early, playing way too greedy in your first chase, not utilizing those landmarks effectively. When you saw Alex G first up in chase over towards 3 and 4 to 3 area, where then he went to the jungle gym over at 2 in his first chase, the reason why he greeted 3 and 4, I would believe, is because they were weaker. Second half of the Oni set, and we're back up and running. It's going to be Ray from Celestial on the killer this time around. And as far as the survivors go for Tensei, it's going to be Orlando, Miracle, Light, and Mercy, your 4 from the last set as well. So hopefully they can pull a little bit more of a better result and level up the playing field 1 all apiece at this stage. Look, you're fighting for 4K2 if you're the serves, 4K4 if you're the killer, and a 4K3 win tie condition, sorry. I really hope we don't see a 4K3. I want to see a little bit more of a better game from the serves, because I just want to see a better chase. First up, better chase. A lot more conventional Oni gameplay. If I'm being absolutely critical, that is. As far as the build goes for the killer, though, as I'm realizing what the kind of scenario that we are in looks like, we have brought in the entirely same build, other than the fact that there is no crowd control. There is bamboozle, which may aid us a little bit later on in the game as to oppose at the beginning of the game. We did get some crowd control value at the beginning from Miracle, but this time around, bamboozle, a lot more stock standard. Could potentially not be as effective, and can definitely be played around a lot better to some instances. But again, we have yet to see that. Ray going to be taking up the first chase onto Mercy, who already, after missing a window, our killer missing Windows dash there, is going to evade the tag just a little bit and create, like I said, a better first chase. And that's going to allow Ray to momentarily leave and try to chase something else a little bit more favorable, but doesn't see anybody. He's just going to be seeing, I think that's how Jake Park, Mr. Enlightened himself, over towards that pallet. And this is, you know, take note, breaking this door can potentially be problematic for our killer, as we can loop that outside pallet there and play our check spots accordingly to where it can potentially be detrimental. However, Ray has diverted entirely and gone for Mr. Twitch Orlando. If you didn't know that he was live, he's live on Twitch. Go give him a follow. But he's going to be getting tagged with that M1 there and that's going to be the first one of the trial coming in a little bit later than last trial. However, there's not really too much pressure to really be worried about. As I'm looking, we have one generator about 20% of the way, and the other one about 30%. So, and they're all been put to a hold at the moment, other than Miracle's gen is just sitting pretty over at 11. It is in a tight cluster as well, so I think it's like a 4-gen top, maybe potentially even 5-gen, as we do have the 3 just sitting here over at bottom. And they are pretty loose at that, so maybe you might see Ray just camp out the top half of the map after getting power of some sort, and he's just going to be slowly collecting those blood orbs over towards 5. He actually is going to be committing the chase onto Mr. Orlando, who is just forced over into the shack building. Doesn't want any of it, and look what he's doing. Oh my, going straight back to the middle of the map, where he's going to be taking control of all points, all sections of the Coal Tower 1, as we do see our Claudette momentarily hop off that generator over towards the corner of 11. He's going to be spot out with power and only has a filler to his avail. As it does go down, so does the firecracker. Does it do anything? It does. It blinds the killer. He's hidden behind a rock. We've lost sight of our survivor. Where'd he go? He can only be around that one little short set of stone. As we do go down with the power there, that's going to be the first stage of the matchup here, going to Ray. It's going to be a pain resonance too to negate all that pressure, which just honestly was not a lot to begin with. Even though we had some fairly good chases, and just nothing to show for it because it was too many people in chase rather. I think Ray did very well to leave at the correct time and then just find somebody, no, I don't want to say out of position, but in something that was more advantageous to Ray. Gohan.
Indeed it was, and unfortunately we are going to be seeing the first hook happen as well. No gen really to show for it just yet, but we are going to be seeing a lot of blood on the map as well. But we do have Mercy's on generator at Shack. We have Enlightened as well. Both generators around that 50% mark. So we're looking at right on the gen progression. And we did see the pain res as well in the background. We do see that generator is going to be going towards 75%. So we're looking like Mercy's gen is going to be popping soon. But Miracle is going to be waiting at this vault as well and going to be vaulting it instantly. Going to be going straight to the pallet at main, dropping that as well. So Ray is going to be getting that pallet for free. Going to be getting that break as well. So now Miracle has to try and figure out a way that can he mind game this, and if Ray could actually come back and try and get him down. But because this door is open, it gives Miracle a straight shot to that main window as well, and then goes back into this kind of Lego tile here at the 2 side. But now we're going to go into the 4 wall, going down just before the pallet as well. So not going to be able to get that there, but Mercy going to try and go in for the pallet save, but unfortunately Ray was picking up on the wrong side. So unfortunately, because of the new way that the DVD has implemented the pallet blocks, Mercy isn't going to be able to get that pallet save onto Miracle. Miracle had to be on the other side of the pallet to be able to get a chance to get that pallet save, but fortunately for Ray, you're going to be able to get that, come straight down to this 1 side, this 11 side, and is just going to miss Orlando by a hair's length. But the vault coming in is going to notify Ray where the survivor is, and now thanks to that another notification, we are going to know that Orlando is right here and going to be getting that down straight after as well. So that is going to be down as well. Ray is going to try and find out his tunnel light. He's going to try and find Miracle, but Enlightened is going to be hiding there at 7. Ray is just going to try and roam around the map from 5, trying to make their way over down towards now. Miracle is here as well, and Ray might have caught onto it, and he has. So Ray is going to be able to get this down onto Miracle here, and Miracle is going to get a little bit jiggy on around the corner, and Ray is not going to catch on just quite yet. Power now is over. Miracle is dead now at 3 generators remaining, and this is currently the situation of a tie con. So if Ray is able to 4K from here on out, it is going to be a tie. But on the side of Tensei, they've got to only pop 1 generator, and considering that Mercy is on that main generator and that generator is whirring, especially with balance landing as their perk of choice for their exhaustion, it is looking like it is going to be quite dangerous for Celestial Hunter.
Going to be pretty hard for him to hold on to this main generator regardless, you know, balanced landing and still no power in hand. It's going to be troublesome. However, he's about, I think, 70% on the way of his gorge, and he's just trying to look for those just one-off blood orbs just off in the distance somewhere. We've made all the way down into 7 there, and it's going to be our near Mercy on the generator waiting for that balanced landing to come back to where potentially we can stealth out for main again. However, take a break of the generator over at 8. Ray going to be sniffing out around this vicinity. Nobody here though, so it might be in his best interest to actually leave and go for one of the other gens. Sneakily trying to hop back on that generator over at top main is Orlando now. I wonder if he's actually broken away to the point where, yeah, he's just going to be making his distance back to something that's a little bit more safe for him. Ray does manage to spot him out via the line of sight. Oh, it can't be long now. It really can't be long now. I hate how I can't see how much power we have built up in the bank, but there is just those few that get us ever so close. And you know what? If my sound in my ears serve me correctly, I think we're about, I want to say at least 85 to 90% of the way. 90, a lot closer. Yeah, sorry. Maybe the old man hearing's not too good, but
they definitely
do. They definitely do.
Gonna take another like 2 weeks to get that done, knowing DVD. But unfortunately, Orlando is gonna get spotted out and gonna get downed as well. So Enlightened is gonna get tagged. But we do see that we did get Eruption onto that main generator, so it's looking kind of grim. So honestly, we might actually be seeing that 4K3 Hunter.
We might just be down goes Mercy. Enlighten, the only person left in the trial. Could this potentially be the draw? Don't tell me it is so, please. It all kind of just fell apart in the mid game, and I don't really know where it went wrong. I think you can't even fault the chasers, really. Was the tag too early? Not really. The pressure just really wasn't there. It's an odd one. Honestly, it's an odd one. Does it mean you just go back to basics when you look at the problems of this match? I don't really know. You have Orlando on the floor now, though. And, yeah, Mercy on a hook. Enlightened, what is your plan of action? Let's get a quick flick around to Mr. Enlightened. He's just in a locker. Maybe waiting for Orlando to crawl a little bit closer. However, we're just staring into the eyes of our hook survivor there. Enlightened straight back out, emerging through. It's really risky to sit a generator like this over at 3. He has to play for something because the killer will eventually catch on after the second stage commences. So I think we're going to try and bait for the killer to go past us. Oh, please don't tell me he's...
That was nail-biting.
Gut-wrenching, nail-biting. Oh, oh my God. I think maybe you just get Orlando off the floor then, no? As I say that, he's just trying to sniff out where Enlightened is, and I don't blame Enlightened for playing so cautiously. But there's his window to get the pull happening there. And Ray all of a sudden has won that extra stage, but ultimately lost to the death onto Mercy, I would say, safely. Orlando, sitting behind that rock, has done very well to crawl away from where he was once slugged, and I think that's going to allow Enlightened to go back and rotate behind main. And as I say that, I think we have caught sight of Mercy again, who's going to be going down, or actually forcing the grab on the pallet, rather. We know where Orlando is now. Hook out of the game. Oh, it's a 4K3. It's a 4K3, and I hate to say it. Ray.
Wait, pause. If he doesn't find Orlando, it's a fresh bleed out. Oh.
No,
so he needs to find Orlando, and Orlando is there sitting. Oh no, this is Ray is actually wait. Is Ray gonna? Ray, please. Ray. Is Ray gonna find him?
No!
I think he finds him. Okay, that's mighty unfortunate for Orlando though. It was so close to actually getting that, and I noticed it as well. Like his progress is looking kind of grim, but unfortunately, gonna get found. Enlightened very close to this hook as well.
They were never playing for the gen, they were playing for the fresh hook. Oh, that's so smart. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I only noticed it because I saw the progress like at the last moment. I was like, wait, hold up. He's still on the floor. He's got like not that much left. But unfortunately, Ray did catch on a little bit earlier and was able to find them. But now Enlightened is in this very turbulent situation where he's got to try and stealth for the pull, and Ray has actually managed to not find Orlando and Enlightened, so he's going to be getting on hook onto Orlando. Now Enlightened is just going to send it down. Now the problem is if Ray doesn't commit this, Enlightened can just try and find a gen, but unfortunately, well, fortunately for Ray, they're actually next to each other, but Ray hasn't really caught onto that just yet, as Orlando's going to keep getting it sendy. Enlightened most likely just revealed himself, yeah, and he has.
Oh no,
he
why
revealed
is he playing so aggressive?
And he's got the power as well. Oh no, this might spell issues, Hunter, because this could be the down. But no, we get it just in time. Smash It is going to come in clutch here. 5 moves ahead. Got to make him get out of there a bit more quicker. But no, we're going to get the pallet break as well. Enlightened now in this such a sticky situation, because if he goes down, it is going to spell issues for Orlando, and he is going to go down as well. Orlando is injured, and it is all the way at that 8 area, but no, Ray is actually going to be checking his 11 side first, so now he's going to try and divert down to the bot side as well. Going to notice that this gen has got progress, so Ray is probably going to opt to try and go and check the other generators as well, and they are, and the power is out, so there isn't much blood bank on the board right now, Hunter, but we got to try and figure out what Orlando can do from this situation.
Not much, Gohan. With Enlighten now on the hook here, the fresh hook won't matter. They need to play for a generator. On the off chance they get a hatch escape or a door escape, they take away the set. However, if they go down straight before it, it's just GG, and Ray's really trying to search out for that stealthing ace somewhere off in the distance there, over at 8. Sees the crows fly down, but that is Ray's crows, as we saw him over more towards that edge map. Orlando, again, just sitting happily over at 7, potentially even going to wait out the death onto Enlightened. I'm not really too sure what the plan of action is here for the boys. I would love to know what the commentary is like as far as their comms go. Ray really still trying to sniff out here over at 11, but finds no one, finds no sight of Orlando. And he's just, he's crouched around that tree. Ray just going to be going back and just camping out that stage onto Enlighten, playing extra safe. And the game is at a stalemate. Not so much a checkmate, but it is a stalemate. Now, how do you get out of this position for both sides? Well, Ray obviously needs to find Orlando. Orlando probably needs to stealth out Enlighten's death and play for a gate. Now, Gohan, unless you're picking up on something that I'm not, tell me.
I was gonna say, if you can see here, the blood is very thick. So yeah, unfortunately, Ray is gonna be able to just find Orlando because of all that blood. That is very unfortunate, but yeah, that is going to be the 4K3, so it's going to be the tie. So we are going to be seeing the demo going to be played here, and it is going to either be the last match or we have to replay the Oni.
Oh yeah, and I honestly don't really know. Tiebreakers, tiebreakers, tiebreakers. It's Demogorgon this time around on Cold Tower 1. You just saw a tie of the Oni set, 4K3 apiece. Alongside the set beforehand, which was 4K1 to 4K2, Nurse going in favor of Celestial, currently 1-0. We need somebody to take away one more set, which means that if this results in a draw, that we will be going back to playing the Oni set again offline. If this results in Tensei winning, we'll be going to the Oni offline again. So a win needs to happen for things to be wraps here on the side of Celestial. And the man to do the job is Ray. Going to be putting that portal there over towards 2, and now just trying to sniff out that cross rotation coming in from 5 or 7 for his first chase. Now, the Demogorgon sets on ping are fan favorite. He is one of those killers that you can potentially get around the fact that you're going to be on all that NS delay. And as I say that, Miracle gonna be mind gamed all the way over at 5 and just trying to buy some distance towards 3 to make for a better location towards taking chase. And that's obviously the likes of main, as you are really trying to flip the map here. And the uncorrupted zone is more towards that main building. However, as I am looking at the gen spread, we don't have a generator over at 1. It's more so towards 3. I don't even think we have one over at 11. There's no Cold Tower 3 gen. What kind of universe am I living in? It's gonna be Miracle going down anyway. Doomy on that gen over at 10, doubling it with our near Mercy. Anger somewhere off in the distance, about 40% of the way done on his generator, which I do believe is over towards more so 6 or 5, somewhere around there. Probably 6, honestly. We took chase over at 5, so there it is, just sitting happily on the outside of Shack. It's got to be the Pain Resonance hitting over at 10, and that's a very short chase for a Demogorgon set, and it does happen to the best of us, especially when you account for ping, but that blind game was absolutely ugly, sitting all the way over at 5. Doomy now trying to play aggressive towards 6, and we have that portal to go back towards the hook and just camp out the remaining stage onto Miracle. As you do have it down fairly early on in the trial, it would be very stupid to overcommit something you don't need to. If you get the chance to get a free tag, take it, go back to the hook. If you don't go back to the hook anyway, it's that early on that forcing the second stage can be detrimental. What do the survivors get out of this? 2 gens, 3 gens at tops. Just make sure the last chases are quick, done and dusted, and you could potentially have a tunnel out at 3 to 2 generators remaining in your game. And ultimately, I think that's what Ray is playing for here. Just the slow pace defensive game that usually see our killers happen to have over at Cold Tower 1 when they're hooked in the guts of the middle of the map. Now, I want to point out he has the ability to do so. Granted, he is not actually fighting for any type of win condition. He is setting the win condition. Therefore, if he sets up for 4K2, 4K1, which is exactly what this is looking like if we manage to get that tunnel out, that could be troublesome for our killer next game. He won't be able to have that luxury. He probably has to play a little bit more aggressive. However, that is yet to remain. Now going to be taking that tag onto Anger, and Anger's just forced over into the corner of 5. So he's lost the 50 out the pallet there. It's just running past everything in his vicinity, in his vision. And Doomy just sitting happily over at 6. Mercy gone for that rotation as well, and we've gone for another, yet again, rotation over at bottom. We do manage to get the pull happening onto Miracle, but he needs to make this chase last. This one spells what could potentially happen throughout the remainder of this game. Ray going to be taking that break on the pallet on the out front of backside main, and Miracle's going to buy that spend that distance towards 8, where he has an Ormond. Is this an Ormond or a jungle? Oh, it's a jungle. Okay, RNG's is in our favor right now. We've taken Chase into a safe location. Pallet goes down. Check spot's coming in. We got mind games. Immensely incredible work from Ray to get that down, and we've intercepted the generator over in 7 as well. We took Chase into the active. Oh, it's falling apart, Gohan, and I can't bear to watch.
Yeah, that is mighty unfortunate. Miracle is going down right next to the most active and most progressed generator as well. So Ray is going to be able to get that free as well. But Mercy is on a generator that is very close to popping as well. So hopefully Ray is able to stop that, and he does so beautifully as well, going straight to the generator as well. So now he's going to be able to get his next chase very quickly. A portal is going to be cleansed in the background, unless that was the Wretched Fate. No, that was the Wretched Fate that was cleansed. So we got Anger, no longer going to be affected by it as well. And thanks to the Shred, we are going to know that there is a survivor sitting on this generator here. So we're going to be able to preemptively TP towards it. Ray is going to be chasing now Doomby, as Doomby is going to try and run as far up the map as he can, but unfortunately with no tile here and not going to be able to get in away from this tile as well, it is going to spell trouble, as now Anger and Mercy are both hit with Eruption. Now Ray is in this position where he knows where both survivors are, and there isn't much that they can do now, as Doomby is on the floor right next to the most progressed gen. He's going to be able to pick up as well, but Mercy trying to go in to try and see if they can get that cheeky gen completion, but unfortunately there is just not enough gen progress on that generator to even get something in quickly. So we are going to have that Painter's hit that generator as well. So now Ray is in this position where he is pretty much in the driver's seat right now, and especially with that drop down as well, and Anger being spotted out in the distance as well, is going to be spelling trouble. We might even be seeing a 4K3 if Ray can hold this so expertly. But now the situation is, does Mercy try and rotate all the way down to do that generator down at 7, or does Mercy get down here at the main? But Anger hopefully is going to be working their way down towards 7, or is going to be coming in for the pull, and it looks like they're going to be coming in for the pull. Mercy has to try and do their best to avoid the next shred, as Ray is hot on their trail and is going to get the shred and got to get the tag, sorry, on to Mercy. So Mercy is probably going to be hooked onto that top mid hook as well for that extra pain res regression hunter.
Yes, sir, and like clockwork, Ray going to be taking that hook in the middle of the map there. Ray back on the case with Shred prepped up here. He's going to be looking to hold that 4K3 position as he does traverse towards 7. There's no progression on that generator to be working about, and Anger going to be taking his distance towards the shack building, kicking the generator with Eruption and going straight back to the tunnel out. If we can get it in time, it's going to, again, spell problems. However, we're still pretty far away from it. Granted, if we down any one of these survivors, they are going to be on a few health states to spare. Sorry, stages to spare. Doomy going to be taking the chase around 11, but does get zoned. However, has unzoned himself, and pre-dropped the pallet in panic maybe? I don't know, and back vaulted a couple times, but he's not on 40 ms to, you know, evade any type of funny tag. You're on 120, you can't really be playing that game. You got to kind of read that pallet and hope for the best to try and bait away a swing and then make something a little bit more favorable, or potentially even win the stun. I mean, that's your best bet. You can't really just drop the pallet and spam vault, doesn't work. However, Ray going to be taking that hook there over in the corner of 11. It's going to be Doomy on his second stage. Portal goes up here over at main building, and we're going to be, again, just intruding here over at 9, getting that gen kicked as well with Eruption. Pull happens in front of our face. However, we're more concerned about holding on to this 3K, and we're just nowhere near doing it. And with the emerge of the portal, the undetectable effect coming in for 5 seconds. I think it's 5 seconds. It's somewhere closer around there. It's going to spell the down onto Anger because it caught us off guard. The communications weren't there, and nor were the portal. I guess more particular the portal communications. They just weren't there. The awareness was a little bit lackluster to say the least. As I get a little bit tongue-twisted for like the 4th time in this this series, we are going to be taking the break of the main building, and that's going to be another tag onto Anger, who, no, sorry.
Found the reset.
Oh, yeah, no, we definitely have. And potentially just a down onto Doomy, and this is looking closer and closer to that 4K3 here, Gohan, which is just not the result you typically see on Demogorgon.
Yeah, honestly, this result might even skew the current results of the match, and Doomy is going to go down and is going to be hooked instantly thanks to Ray getting that mind game there. So with this match, it actually might change the average result as well, but this might be maybe an outlier match, so maybe it might not be accounted for. Hopefully it does, as you got to take into account every match to find a happy medium in the background. But right now, we're in this situation where if they hook Anger, they do solidify a 4K3, especially if they go for the slug at the end. But now we got to figure out, can Anger actually stealth it out and maybe even get a reset, and Mercy is able to reset them? And we DC. Okay, so Sky Demo does still exist. I thought they patched it, but apparently you can still fling yourself from the main building, and we do see the Killer Instinct onto Mercy, and I don't think Ray realized, but Mercy went up towards the 9 side. So Ray is going to divert and go for that as well. So now we're most likely going to break this pallet, try and get Mercy down as well, and then most likely just going to slug them and then try and get a chase onto Anger, as he is our last fresh hook for the trial. We are going to get the shred, we are going to get the down as well. So now, where is Anger? Anger is running into the grateful embrace of the killer, as it looks like he just wants to get his last chase in for the trial. Going to be baiting out another M1 tag here, as he has accepted that it is most likely going to be a 4K3, and very good sportsmanship from Anger, but he obviously still wants his last chase, so he's going to be taking that through as much as he wants. Oh, he's going to get hit through the pallet. Unfortunately, him trying to go back and get the pallet stun was all that the killer needed to get the down onto Anger. So Anger is going to be hooked, and that is going to solidify the 4K3 Hunter. This result for Demo has definitely skewed the average results.
Well, it definitely did. I guess you would think, right? I'm not too sure if it changes it that much, but, you know, yet another 4K3 on Demogorgon, and we've seen Anger do it again in the group stage, but can he take it back here when versing Celestial? He would need to 4K4 for win.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Celestial versus Tensei. We are on the last match, last game. If this killer is to get a 4K3, they will get the win con, so we will have to go back to Oni, which will be played offline. The survivors have to just pop 3 gens to get that win for them, which if they do, it will be a 2-0 victory towards Celestial, and that will spell the end of Tensei's rerun into this tournament. They have done very well to get here, same with Celestial, but it is all down to the wire. It is up to whether or not Celestial can pop 3 gens, and if Miracle can get a 4K3. And right now, it is looking very interesting. We see Zlappy is already checking for crowd control, and he's already got the confirmation like, hey, crowd control is in effect, and Ray is on a totem already. Most likely is already on that totem. That is going to be, oh my, that is very well played from Zlappy, actually going to the edge map to actually already check for crowd control. So Now Miracle is actually going to be running with one less perk if when Ray pops this totem, and we are going to see the chase onto Slappy here. Ray has actually hopped off the totem and back on it, so suspecting that the killer was going to actually go down towards that side of the map, but Slappy is going to be shredded over that pallet as well. Mighty unfortunate for Slappy, but very good for Miracle as he needs to get as many downs as quick as possible. We see that crowd control is going to be done in the background. Slappy is going to be trying to work his way down towards the map, and we do see that this top mid gen is actually being doubled by Cahill and Alex G. So now Cahill is going to go down towards this wall tile. Unfortunately, not going to be able to miss and dodge that dash, as we see that Demo is now able to actually very much easily curve around tiles thanks to them changing the way that Demo is. But that still doesn't account for if you do just unfortunately get dodged out. But we got the first down on to Cahill. Cahill is going to be hooked as well. We do have a pain res here at 5, so we can stop that top mid-gen from progressing. We do see the birds flying down, so we suspect someone has run up the 3 side of the map as well. We do see that pain res has come through, most likely going to be on that top mid-gen as well, and we do see that Alex G is getting prepared for that unhook. We do see the reset happening onto Slappy as well. Alex G is going to be able to get past as well thanks to Urban Evasion being able to help him a lot more easier, and Ray is going to be on a gen as well. This top mid-gen isn't going to be worked on, so we're going to put a portal down onto top of it. So now if someone is on that side of the generator, when he holds the shred out, he's going to get Killer Instinct of the Survivor on it. We got Slappy is going to be the one here at this generator at 8. We do see most likely Alex G is going to go for that pull as soon as we get confirmation of the chase is started. So we are going to see Slappy make his way down towards this bot site and going to go towards Shaq. We do see the unhook happen as well. We don't see the pallet drop as well, so luckily we do still have Shaq to our disposal. So now Cahill is going to be able to use it, but now the problem is there are 2 survivors next to this Shaq Hunter.
That there is, and we're going to get stunned there momentarily as we do take the chase back onto Cahill here, rather, who is our tunnel out. So this is a survivor that you want done and dusted in this position. Does only have this short filler to be working with within this area. Not really much else to go on other than the almond tile straight in front of them. However, a couple quick mind games around this rock could potentially spell it down. However, we're a little too smart. Cahill putting on the jets right now is trying to... Does he even want to break away? He's just happy to play the 50s at this very short filler. And again, prepping the shred, nobody home. Vaulting the pallet again. This guy has about, what, 200 bucks in hand right now, winning all kinds of 50s. Where did he go? Hold on a second. Ah! He's getting a little bit in his head and he's flicked up in the air in frustration. Cahill just the king right now, just jigging away entirely. First generator of the trial pops. No other progression or no other bits of progression on the map here. So Miracle choosing to reset the game back on its head a little bit as he does take the break of the main building, is trying to sniff out who's in this area. Doesn't see anybody, so places a portal down, is happy to go back to bottom half. Maybe catch out Cahill in a more favorable position if we're getting a little bit too overzealous on the generators, or the pallets, which seems like we are at the moment, as we do manage to win 150 here. Let's count the 50s again. Please just break the damn pallet. That's not 100 in hand here. Yes, thank you. My God. Forcing our survivor into the corner of, middle of 6, corner of 6 rather, as well. Edge map nice and deep into this area where there is nothing to be working with but a Z-War, and ultimately that just will be the down. Whereas if we did that a little bit earlier, I swear it probably would have put us up for a better game in the long run. You know, a couple chases actually means 2 generators do pop as a result of this, and that's the double beam happened by Ray and Zalapi, I believe, and Alex G off in the distance over at 1, just again trying to work motors, and that will be the win condition if we pop it in front of our killer's face. But we have pre-left it, and we are stealthing. We are playing very, very patiently, and honestly, very conservatively. And Miracle sees the scratch marks leading into 5, wants nothing of it, is just going to take his eruption kick onto this generator sitting here over at 1. Portal goes down, not going to be using it, going to be saving it for a rainy day for when we need it. Probably will want to take into effect his eruption. However, in an ideal world, you'd want it to be the tunnel out if you're going to hold on to 3 generators remaining. And you wouldn't want them to be healthy. They would need to be injured. And we've reset the tunnel out here, which in turn has reset the game. And with Alex G so close to be popping 1, I dare say Nothing good is going to be coming of this trial no more for Miracle. He's going to be traversing back into the portals, trying to catch that survivor off guard. But look at that pre-leave coming in from Alex G. Alex G is going to be forced and zoned into the corner of one, where it's honestly right in front of the generator being worked, and there's no ping hit spin happen today. Is that a smash hit potentially? I don't know. I don't think it was. Maybe I'm just seeing things. However, I'm going to be pushing these survivors off the generator from middle map. It's going to be Cahill and Zalapi in chase. Cahill, the man that you want dead in this scenario, does slap the pallet in front of Miracle's face, and the break has taken precedence and not the stun. So fortunate stuff for our killer. Again, looking pretty dire for Miracle. Going to be placing that portal down, and ultimately it did not mean much. We were always working one, and it's popped right before us, which means that Celestial will be taking away the entire series 2-0.
Indeed it is. So that is unfortunately the end for Tensei in this tournament, but we cannot take them out just yet. We are going to try and see how Miracle can go, try and get the best win con result possible. But as right now, we got only two hooks to account for in this trial and one generator remaining. But we got to thank Tensei for obviously competing within this tournament. We hopefully to see them again in another day on another tournament, somewhere along the line in the future. But right now, Miracle is going to try his best to try and get the best win result, or the best result possible from this situation. We do have Ray is going to be healing Slappy in the background, or sorry, Cahill in the background. Slappy is just going to go to this edge area here, going to get down. Alex G getting rid of that portal so then they can work on that main as well without much interruption. But in doing so, it gives Miracle a knowledge of there is a survivor in main and gives him back a portal to be able to place down whenever he so fit. So now we are going to be seeing the kick onto this top mid generator. We are going to go down to the 5 as well, interrupting a survivor as well, and Ray not dropping the pallet as he thought the killer would probably try and mind game it, but unfortunately for him, Ray is not going to be able to get that mind game just in time, and Miracle now is going to be able to get this shred onto the window, but no, Ray is going to be able to vault just in time. Miracle is going to be hitting the window. Mighty unfortunate, but we are going to be vaulting into the loving embrace of the killer. Happy days for Miracle, as this would help this boss the best possible result, as we are going to be able to hook on a pain res as well. But we do know that there is a survivor working on that main generator, as we know Alex G was the one to get rid of the portal earlier. So Celestial are going to be making it through. They are going to either be versing Kaido Kids or Peony Dynasty Hunter. So that's going to be, those are going to be some two strong teams that are going to be versing Celestial. So hopefully, depending on whoever wins that match, Celestial are able to grind out those scrims and try and get the best result possible for them. But right now, Alex G is going to be in chase here as well. We got another portal breaking in the distance as well, so giving Miracle an extra 2 portals on top of the one that was already broken at main. We got Alex G now is going to get tagged here as well, going to go back to this S tile. But Alex G was actually going to playing very greedily on that. Wow, okay, he just vaults right into the killer. Unfortunately, now going to go down to the shred, is going to be getting picked up as well, and going to get a pain res hook as well. But this generator progress is whirring and it is active, and we're going to get the down there. Unfortunately, Ray not getting off the generator in time. Slappy did it more than effectively, but then Ray was like, nah, we can continue, we can pop it. Pain res does exist. Well, unfortunately, it does exist. And wait, all 3 survivors were actually on that generator. I see. Okay, so they didn't actually opt to try and work main at all. They just wanted to get that gen done and dusted. But unfortunately for Miracle, they've all left. So Miracle caught with his pants down a little bit, and unfortunately isn't going to be getting a chase so quickly. But now we do see someone is on that main generator. It's going to be Alex G, and Slappy is making his way up towards the map. And right now it is looking like it could be Outs Hunter.
Gotta have a chase here, Gohan. Gotta have a chase. What can we work with this egregious serpent tile, the Z and the 2 ones? Nothing really. We're just gonna be eating that tag and hauling us to the bottom half of the map, where that is our prioritized death location, nice and far away from main building. Hopefully going for that triple on that gen. We ran into it though, and Ray's ready for the beamer save. He's actually on the correct side. Can he make it around? just in time. I'm not too sure. Miracle's happy to just take that slug and commence chase back on to Cahill, who's just wrapped around inside the loop of Shaq and ultimately just bought him enough distance to play check spots. Look at that. I mean, no pallet to be working with, but regardless, he is going to still buy enough time for that one generator that Alex G is working to be done. Zalapi to be picked off the floor from Ray, and the game to be taken away by Celestial. As we do dodge that shred, we've played the 50-50 mind game at the pallet, trying to bait it out, and ultimately that's recorded our down, unfortunately. Oh my god, we were there for a beamer save as well. Hello there. It's kind of like a, wow, they're opening up a door and then just a bug's there. I guess this is the only best way I could put that. It gives you a little bit of a chill. How the hell was that guy just creeping around the corner there? As Miracle does try to get a miracle of a hit over the window there if we were just hugging the tile, but effectively we have just broken away with our distance and potentially trying to make a door. Looks like the blood trail is leading more towards into the likes of 9. We wrap around the water tower though, going for the hatch potentially. No, we've done it for the 2-time here. Ray's ready for the body block. What? Is he in the locker? No, stop. What are we doing here? Pick him out. Go, do it. Do it. Do it. Dob him in. Dob him in. Get him, boy.
Wait.
What?
Ray.
Nah. Brother. Oh!
Oh no, that is.
You had to do it.
The bully. That is bullying and bullying, and he's not even gonna get the shred either. So we're gonna hit all survivors.
Oh
Wait.
my god! What am I watching?
What is happening? What is going on? Are we just gonna? Okay, we're gonna go down as well. And we also know. Yeah, he has hatch, and apparently there was actually Medal of Man, but unfortunately, I don't think it really did much to change.